Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast
It's time to wake up.
and shine on.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody. It's good to have you here. Selomon, joined by Shannon Shine. How are you doing?
I'm in recovery mode. We've had a big last few days and a lot of things that happened this week.
A lot of things have happened. What for you has happened since the last podcast?
Oh, so many things. I released a bunch of paintings. I've sold several of them, which is really nice. They were different animal paintings for the show that I hung out. Wild
New
Roots.
show?
Yeah, we did a new show, Wild
you
Roots.
hung up?
Hung over 60 paintings. Not all mine, but there were a lot.
And some of them were kids' paintings.
Adorable.
And they're adorable paintings. You can tell they're by kids, but they are so excited to have them up there.
It is exciting. They're celebrating their creativity. They are homeschooled and their mom paints with them. And there was another artist that was like 14 and a couple of other just like new to the art scene. And I get really excited to encourage them to participate in events. And they definitely are still, like in their growth process, but it gives me a lot of joy to give them feedback on how to progress in their dreams and the things they want to do. So if they want to be an artist, I want to help motivate them.
Yeah. One thing you always say is you want to, be the person who you needed as a kid. And I'm sure as a kid, you were doing a lot of similar things, like getting into that art world, the craft world, trying to, move up. And it's cool to see you, giving back to.
Yeah. I like people who can take gentle nudges in the right direction and don't see it as criticism, because some artists get upset because I am a little rough in the sense that I make people paint their edges. I ask them to have proper hangers on their work. And if you're an artist looking to get in a gallery of any kind, those are some things I do suggest for you as young artists or aspiring artists of any age. Make sure the edges of your artwork look really clean by like painting them a solid color or carrying over your art, and make sure it is hangable. It always breaks my heart when I have to not hang a piece and tell the person to come pick it up because they didn't make it hangable. And if your art gallery curator can't make something hangable, that makes it really hard.
What is your favorite hanger?
The easiest is a sawtooth, but it doesn't always fit on the hooks.
So sawtooth with some space between that and the.
Yes, or a wire. A wire is probably the best bet for it to go on most hooks and it'd be easier to hang straight.
Like a metal braided wire.
Yeah. Don't put ribbon on it. Don't use random ropes.
So no ribbon and staples.
Yeah, the staples will typically come out. I'm guilty of that when I started, but I've seen some things hung very wildly with just like the most random objects.
What is the metal wiring wraparound?
So I usually use eyelets, these little eyelets that you can get. It's kind of like what you would see like a old school lock with like a hook and a little circle. The little circle pieces are great, and then you put the wire through them on both sides. Make sure that they're on the same level, and it'll make it easy for someone to hang your art, no matter who that person is.
Awesome. Well, what other things have you? Yeah, you have more you want to say. Yes.
I was just gonna continue with the things because I actually didn't expect to go into all that little mini soapbox rant there. So I hung a lot of art and I sold some art. It was cool. I got a proof of my book that still needs a little bit of tweaking, but it's exciting to see it in official book form.
I think we might have like touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, we've been hinting at it. It's going to be a book, a journal.
So you're making progress on it.
Yeah, there's a journal, and it's to help people work through grief and reflecting on that practice in creative ways. And then let's see, what else did we do? I feel like there was a bunch of other things, but recently we just went to the Earth Day celebration.
Yeah,
and that's
Earth
something
Day.
I want to talk about here soon. What else do you want to celebrate this week?
What do I want to celebrate this coming week?
Or what have you just accomplished that you're celebrating?
What have I accomplished that we're celebrating? Well, I did help with the Earth Day event. Been working hard, and got some new podcasts on the way that I've been working hard on.
Yeah, your mom's is coming.
We have new set pieces that I've been able to acquire, and hopefully we'll get back into doing some video for the podcast here. So
we're getting
maybe
there.
you'll see our faces again soon. Stay tuned.
I feel like you just got so much louder in my headphones.
It's an illusion.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so I'm celebrating all of that stuff, and honestly, celebrating that I'm still alive. Because, it's a crazy world out there. A lot of things going on, but send a lot of love to all of you out there. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just remembered something else I'm celebrating from this week.
Okay.
I just launched, finally, the We Are Artists podcast.
See, new podcast, that's what I've been saying. New podcast, so we got the new We Are Artists out there.
You can
find it on Spotify.
Yep.
Anywhere you're listening to us on right now.
Yeah, you can find it. And me and Lacey are really excited. We got a lot of good feedback on it. There's going to be another episode that releases this Wednesday. So I released 2. You'll have a 3rd one coming. And I think I have another one scheduled for next week. So I'm at least on a roll that far.
Yeah. Well, if anybody listening right now is able to get on your podcast app, search We Are Artists, and follow it, and hit the notification button so that you know when new episodes come out.
Yeah, and we're on Instagram as We Are Artists_podcast.
All right, heck yeah. Well, thank you for that update. We are excited. It's good to hear you and Lacey, talking about your art lives.
It's going to be a fun journey. She's a wild one, so it's always exciting to hear her feedback on things, and I enjoy having an artsy friend that I can connect with, and we have a few people lined up for interviews, so good stuff is on the way.
Yeah, Lacey's been on a lot of the things that we've done, so.
Yeah, long-term, bring me to life
Contributor.
companion. Yeah.
Both of them.
All those things. So you said that you are tired also. We just celebrated Earth Day, and I know this is going to be coming out after Earth Day, but we had discussed wanting to touch on connecting with the earth for well-being and practices. I know it felt really good to be in nature yesterday. We got a lot of wind. It was very windy.
Super windy.
We celebrated the earth. We planted plants.
Thank you, Tony.
We stayed very hydrated. We had some really yummy tea from Tap Twice Tea.
Yeah, some delicious tea. It was. I had black tea personally.
I had the ginger turmeric, and it was yummy.
Yeah. Delicious.
We got to hang out by a fire pit for a while. I always love hanging with the fire.
It's a nice fireplace. Yeah.
Yeah. I also had a chance to sit down with Carol from Ren Studios, and she talked to me about human design in my human design chart. That was pretty cool.
Human design is a fascinating thing. And could you just maybe like a quick explanation? What is it?
Oh, I'm a projector. You expect me to be quick?
Yes.
I'll just do my best.
1 minute counting now.
But projector archetype, which is what I am, basically means that I use my words to help amplify the energy around me and humankind and anything else that I choose to focus my energy on, which I thought that was pretty cool because I'm here podcasting using my voice. But generally, human design is, from my perspective, a chart of an energy map that you came through when you're born. So it's like similar to astrology, but it's not as planet based as it is like energy based, because they come from like the perspective that different energy portals were open when your soul comes through. So it like shows you a breakdown of like what energy centers in your body are like the most active, the things that your soul is looking to accomplish in this life, and areas that you can work on. And then it also shows you like other energy types you can connect with. So like certain people I work with, I like help amplify them and being excited to share their voice, and others I kind of like trigger them. And everyone has different maps, but those were some of the things that I learned is I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but the people that like me love me and I love them.
Well, hopefully anybody listening here is, probably a return listener. So maybe one of those types that enjoys what you have to say.
Yeah. That's really helpful, and I'm excited to learn more about it. Um, what's something that you learned or experienced yesterday at Earth Day?
At Earth Day, I get to enjoy nature. I
Mm,
really, it was good to be back out there because we're in the city now so often. It's not a big city, but it's different than being out in the woods and surrounded by trees and getting a view of the mountains around us. That was incredible. And getting
mm.
to hear, music outside. The music wasn't outside, but
It was amplified
it was
outside.
amplified outside, and it was actually a really nice day. It was sunny. I got to see some friends, and I got to help Tony plant
Mm-hmm.
something
In the
there.
pollinator garden.
The pollinator garden. Uh, there was this workshop that was really powerful actually, and it was by someone named Tiffany. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
She's part of the Waymakers Collective.
Cool. Part of the Waymakers. Well, she showed up and brought a workshop kind of with her, or like a presentation about some really powerful thing that I know you have more information about.
Yeah, so it was called the Appalachian Rekindling Project, and it was about supporting indigenous tribes and natives in the initiative to create and build and fund a collective intertribal indigenous center here in the Appalachia so that the native people can return and gather. She showed us a map on how destroyed the forests have become since things have been colonized, and
Mm-hmm.
really just like put in perspective what has been happening here in
It's insane.
America. Yeah, and it
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me really sad, but it was really powerful to see that there are these communities all over the country and the world, but specifically here in the U.S. The project aims to build the relationship with the homelands back, and a lot of it was based around this idea of using a voluntary land tax to help fund the indigenous communities and institutions to start paying for a small percentage of the forest to be rebuilt and to allow them to start caring for the land in beautiful ways. She showed where some of the native tribes lived close to different bodies of water, and the reefs were like struggling when it got really colonized, so like trying to get these tribes and these very important folks back to the land that they were once caring for so that they could just follow the initiative of restoration and kinship. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something I feel like a lot of us as white folk kind of feel guilty for, and we're trying to like figure out how to, um, show up in the best way possible,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and kind of just be in better standing with the things and people that our ancestors may have really destroyed.
Yeah. 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 There's so many horrible things that have happened in human history, and the colonization is, pretty terrible when you see how it's affected the world and the natural environment around us. And she did show a graph, like you were saying, there's a graph, and it was full of trees and forests everywhere. And then colonization has been happening for so long, and so much of that has been cut down and developed, and it's it's really insane. And so it's, I think a really powerful vision to have to be able to, heal the trauma of past generations
Mm-hmm.
and what they've done to others.
Yeah, I think it's good to know that these projects are out there. So I would really love to have Tiffany on sometime. She's
Mm-hmm,
also
yeah.
somebody that at the Waymakers Collective Summit a year or so ago, she did a workshop on creating paints with natural pigments and different
Yeah, that
ways
was
of
awesome.
connecting with the earth that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I really have like fallen in love with that concept because it just would feel so good to me to be able to make my own paint and pigment and work with the earth in that way. So I'd love to get her to talk about that some more. But if you're interested in more information about the Appalachian Rekindling Project, you can go to their Instagram, or you can also look up AppalachianRekindlingProject.org. And the like voluntary land tax or like voluntary donation is just like you can make a donation of whatever amount feels good to you, and you can go there and just work with them. And she was really adamant about, like if you want to be in good standing with the indigenous folk of your lands, to do the work to like figure out what that is. And that's something that I want to get more in tune with. So shout out to Tiffany.
Shout out. Can you call it their Instagram again?
Appalachian Rekindling Project.
Okay. And
then something else that we witnessed yesterday. Were you going to say something?
No. I was just going to maybe mention, the Waymakers again. But what were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. The Waymakers Collective. They're doing some really cool things. I'm actually getting to help them. I'm going to participate in their opening ceremony in their upcoming summit. I was invited to do that. Nice. And they are a cultural assembly group that strives to sustain the creative practices, lands, and livelihoods throughout the Appalachia as well. And we received a grant from them last year, and it helped us build up some of our studio stuff for Shine Online.
Yes, it did. Yeah. So just a thank you out to the Waymakers Collective, and they're a really beautiful group, kind of breaking down a lot of barriers and past traumas, kind of like the Rekindling Project. And there was somebody else that was at the Earth Day event that we were a part of, and I think her name was Cabria. But she's a part of the Waymakers too, and that was another person. It was nice to kind of meet in a new location.
Yeah, and I also work with Cabria on the Cultural Equity Committee for the TFA, which is another arts foundation that I'm a part of, and it's also working to create just unity and equity for not only artists, but artists of all walk of life, and the cultural equity of that. But yeah, so Cabria is a poet, and I'm talking with her about getting her on this podcast soon and talking about the power of poetry in healing and activism. Are you breathing into the mic right now?
No, why would you say that?
Just the way you looked like you were doing something to the mic.
I was trying to make it obvious for you to get closer to the mic, or to face it.
Okay, now okay, that makes more sense.
And then she's like, you're just calling me out.
It just looked like he was putting his nose to the mic, so I was confused. So Cabria is a poet, and I'm excited to have her on soon, I hope. And yeah, it was just really cool being out there and learning more about all kinds of ways to connect with the earth. Tony was out there, like I said, he was building the pollinator garden and talking about like just local natural plants and native plants and ways to
let's talk about native plants.
Work with them.
He knows a lot of information about plants and the history of them in this area. And
I think it's like Stinging Nettle Nursery is his cool. Moniker.
I will share a funny story with Tony, if I may. I was walking around with one of my other friends, and I found what I thought it was a ramp, because I don't know much about ramps, I guess. And I thought it was a ramp, so I took it to Tony. I'm like, hey, I got this for you, man. And he just takes a bite out of it. He's like, ooh, this one's spicy. I was like, oh, this is a spicy ramp. He's like, no, this is wild garlic, and it's spicy. So Tony didn't need coffee after that, he said.
That's funny.
Yeah, but apparently it was wild garlic.
Yeah, interesting. Now we know if CeeLo hands you a random plant, you might want to do your research. Yeah, definitely. What are some other ways that you connect with nature for your healing? Do you have any like random tips or mental health activities that you would like to share for connecting with the earth in celebration of Earth Day?
If there's a place where you can stand barefoot in some grass, that is a really powerful, simple exercise to do. Luckily, I got to do that when I was sprinting, trying to reach my max speed, as a land animal. But I took
It's
my
so
shoes
funny
off.
just watching you and Billy just take off running yesterday.
Me and Billy Morgan, who we've had, as well, and he's allowed us to use this equipment too for the podcast. And thank you, Billy.
Yeah.
But we try to reach. We had no idea when the last time we sprinted was.
Yeah, you didn't even know he was a professional sprinter.
I did not know he was a competitive sprinter.
Okay, that's the word. I was like, we're not professional.
No, he had no idea either. Neither of us knew when the last time we tried to run as fast as we could, and we did it. Our muscles are hurting a little bit today. I did not expect that.
Older than you thought. Anyway, so putting your feet on
How dare you?
the earth is a way that you like to connect.
Yeah, putting my feet on the earth, bare feet on the earth is very, very nice. Also, I like to just kind of go out there and just be still and kind of look around. And sometimes when I'm hiking, I'll go through and you see the world, the nature while you're hiking. Is different than if you take a moment to stop and kind of settle down and everything shifts around you. You begin to notice more life around you. Life begins to awaken more when you're still in nature. And this might be for Patreon, so I won't say this, but there's other ways I like to connect with nature that, there's unlimited. I'm curious what everybody else's, favorite ways to connect with nature are. Share it in the Bring Me Life community Facebook group and let us know. Shannon, what are some of your favorite ways to connect with nature?
Let's see. So I like to meditate or create art outside when I can. It's been a lot harder since we moved and we live in a town now rather than in nature. I used to be able to walk outside and hear running water, which was really magical. Really missing that part. But in general, getting out and being able to be still, I'm not much of a hiker unless I know that there's something worth the hike for, a really beautiful waterfall or something. But I do like being in nature and sitting and relaxing. And when I was going through a really just rough healing patch, you built me a nest out in nature, which was really fun and is still there. And we go visit it, and it was a magical space. You just took a bunch of the big falling branches from the woods and made a little nest space. And I liked going out there and meditating and visualizing and praying or writing and journaling and just being able to be outside. Sometimes I would see animals. I love connecting with the animals, channeling my inner Snow White out there. One time I took my drum out to the woods and was just playing my handpan out in the woods, and I felt this presence, and I looked up and there was a fox coyote. I'm not sure which one it is. In my mind that day, it was a fox because I was really connecting with foxes. And the more research I've done, I think it was a small coyote or a big fox. But regardless, it was this beautiful nature creature that was just admiring me, admiring him in this moment. And I was like, I'm not going to stop playing this drum because it seems to really like the drum. And it has some sort of lunch in its mouth that it had put down and was just staring at me.
It had something in its mouth that it sat down.
And just stared at me while I played this drum. And we just locked eyes, and it was very majestic. And then I did kind of slowed my drumming because I kind of wanted to take a picture of it. But then it picked up its food and just kind of trotted away. And I was just oh, that was just meant for me and a story I can tell but not show. But it was really beautiful. That's happened to me several times. I'll be outside just kind of doing my creative thing, and animals will come up. So that's a way I really like to connect with nature. I've had deer come up and watch me while I'm journaling. I've had turkeys come up while I'm making jewelry.
I remember that turkey.
I petted it.
You did. So weird.
I pet that turkey.
Yeah, you totally did pet it. There's a person that we both know named Birdman. He loves birds, and he just showed this picture of this turkey who just came up and just knocked on his door.
Yeah, that's basically what that one was about to do.
Yeah.
I ran and got you and came back, and he was still there. That turkey was just a happy turkey.
What are those turkeys doing? What are they thinking?
But yeah, so I think there's like just a healing magic to being out in nature. And when you allow yourself to do your creative thing out there, like
There is.
the animals are curious, the elements are curious. I really love working with different elements. I tried to, like, when I am outside, like yesterday, I was like, ooh, I want to interact with all the different elements. I was really glad it didn't rain this year. I made sure to pack several umbrellas and rain jackets and to ensure that there would not be rain.
Bring all your rain gear. No rain.
It was very windy though. Did not prepare for that because I brought a big canvas to paint on. I had this like earth goddess painting I wanted to work on, but the air was like, nope, if you put this canvas up, it will be like a sail and you will fly away.
Yeah, you could tie a string to it. We could have
flown it like a kite.
Yeah.
They
There was
were-
another kite.
They were flying kites.
They were kites.
We admired some birds, so that was some good air. I guess the water was just like making sure we were hydrated. But anyway, I like to make sure all the elements are feeling honored and connect with the earth in that way.
Yes.
So, yeah. Is there any other nature-based activities that you like to incorporate into your self-care routine? Anything earthy?
Earthy earth. I used to go for jogs in the earth. That was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
If I can dip into some kind of, safe water.
Natural water.
I'm a water sign. I love dipping in the water. There's a spot that we've gone to. When I first came to you, I was getting naked and all this kind of water.
Celia would just like go out in the middle of the woods and be like, I feel safe here, and just would nakedly adventure.
It's so wild to be naked in nature because, I don't know, there's something kind of primal about it. You just feel completely free, surrounded by the natural world in your natural body. It's super powerful.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a whole practice in Japanese culture that is forest bathing, and it just involves immersing yourself in nature and mindfully engaging with the forest environment. And it's gained popularity kind of worldwide in the sense that, there is a visual change in a person's emotional well-being when they practice spending time in nature. And that can be, intentional walks through nature. In Silo's case, he was getting as close to nature in his natural form as he could.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than like focusing on a destination or a specific goal, just to like allowing yourself to be in the forest, which I think is why I like to be like in the natural world, but I'm not like, I must, navigate it everywhere. I don't mind being in one spot. But yeah,
exploring is nice.
Yeah.
There was one time I was exploring the mountain. I found a set of antlers just by themselves hanging out by the tree.
Yeah, that is pretty shocking. Some hunter somewhere is sad that he left those. Or maybe it was that the deer,
I think the deer
just
knocked
shed
them
them
off the tree, yeah.
Ah, that's
Left
wild.
them.
Yeah. But yeah, just some of the benefits of giving yourself nature time is like stress reduction. You get an improved mood. You boost your immune functions.
Yeah, scientific.
Cognitive function.
Spiritually, you feel better.
Increased energy and vitality and just, overall clarity, which is really nice. I recently just kind of started diving into the Mind Valley. They call them quests, and they have a lot about connecting with nature more deeply to unlock the fullest potential of your mind. So I'm excited to like dive into more of those.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm excited to see what the future holds. I'm excited to, get this podcast out there for everybody to listen to. If you have the time and are able to, please subscribe, turn on that notification setting, rate us if you haven't yet, wherever you're listening. If there's a way to review us, please do that and share with your friends. And yeah, thank you all for listening.
If you haven't checked out bringmetolife.com yet in a while, go do it. There's some cool articles there. You can find links to our Patreon there.
Yeah.
You can submit articles of inspiration there yourself.
Yeah. I just posted a meditation on our Patreon. People could download it.
You can learn how to contact us to help you launch your podcast.
You are welcome to do that too.
Yeah, and that's something we're really focusing on, is helping others activate their voice and amplify their projects. And I thought it was really cool that my human design confirmed that that's like my main key to life, is helping others use their voice and to master my own voice.
And podcasting is a great way to do that, no matter, what business you have, no matter what kind of creative project you're working on. So many good things for podcasting. So
yeah,
maybe you want to be a guest.
Hit us up.
Bringmetolife.com with the number 2.
Yeah.
Anything else? Sorry, go ahead. Anything else?
Let's see. There's so many things that happened this week. If you're local and listening to this and you're in the West Virginia area, you can join us for art walks coming up. I'm helping manage those. It's part of First Friday, and I'm helping amplify artists in the area have an opportunity to share their work with the community. So you can also hit me up for that. And I'm going to be doing more online things soon. So if you want to do some sessions and stuff like that, you can also hit me up. Currently at shannonshine.com. Okay, I'm done.
And I am Selomon Official on social media. Selomon.com. About to revamp that. We're about to get up website updates soon.
Yeah.
And you ready?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in here to the Bring Me Life podcast. Stay awake.
Shine on always.
Bye-bye.